Hello, amazing people. I am Ayushi Rawat and welcome to my channel. In this tutorial, I am going to teach you how to web scrape data from any website and export it into MS Excel. Coronavirus cases are increasing rapidly worldwide. This tutorial will guide you on how to web scrape coronavirus data into MS Excel. Let's look at today's agenda. We'll look at the topics: what is web scraping, understanding HTML basics, how to scrape a website, and how to export data into MS Excel. The prerequisites here are Python, Pandas, Beautiful Soup, HTML and CSS. You need not worry if you do not know any of these because we'll discuss that in detail later. So let's get started. What is web scraping? If you have ever copy or pasted information from a website, you have performed the same function as any web scraper, only on a microscopic manual scale. Web scraping, also known as web data extraction, is the process of retrieving or scraping data from a website. This information is collected and then exported into a format that is more useful to the user, be it a spreadsheet or API. Two important points to be taken into consideration here. Always be respectful and try to get the permission to scrape from the website first. Do not bombard the website with scraping requests. Otherwise, you may end up getting your IP address blocked. Be aware that website changes often, meaning your code could go from totally working to totally broken from one day to the next. Now let's look at the process. It involves 3 steps. Request for a response from the web page. That is, first we need to get the request to scrape from a website. Second, parse and extract with help of Beautiful Soup and LXML. And last, download and export the data with Pandas into Excel. It will be more clearer to you once we code. Now let's look at some of its uses. It can serve several purposes. Most popular ones are investment decision banking, competitor monitoring, news monitoring, market trend analysis, appraising property value, estimating rental yields, politics and campaigns, and many more. If you wish to know further about it, I have attached a link in my blog. You can have a look. Now, what is coronavirus? I do not think coronavirus needs an introduction here, but just in case if somebody does not know. Coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, is an infectious disease caused by a newly discovered coronavirus. The COVID-19 spreads primarily through droplets of saliva or discharge from nose when an infected person coughs or sneezes. If you wish to know further about it, I have attached the link to Wikipedia in my blog. You can have a look. Now we need a website or a data source from where we are going to scrape the data. So I am using the Worldometer website here. Its link is attached in the description box. So you can easily navigate to the website, and you can also refer to the WHO website. The Worldometer page will look something like this. I will zoom in a bit for you. We are interested in the data contained in the table at Worldometer website, where it lists all the countries together with their current reported coronavirus cases, new cases, total deaths and new deaths for the day, etc. Now we are ready to code, but make sure you follow along. There are a few important libraries that we will need. These are requests, LXML, BS4 stands for Beautiful Soup version 4. Now let's go to the command prompt and install them. Use the pip install command to do the same. You will use pip install command to install the libraries. If you have previously installed them, then it will show as requirement already satisfied. Moving further, let's see what we can do with these libraries now. You should know the basics of a web page. So let's look at the HTML basics first. This is the basic syntax of an HTML web page. The doctype HTML command describes the version of the HTML. The HTML document must start with type declaration. Next is HTML tag. Everything we write must be contained between these two tags. Next is the head tag. The meta and the script declaration of HTML document is stored between head. The visible part of HTML document is between the body tags. Title headings are defined with H1 to H6 tags, being H1 the largest and H6 the smallest. Paragraphs are defined with the P tag. Some other useful tags include A for hyperlink, table command for tables, TR for table rows, and TD for table columns. Once we have the clear idea of what we are going to do, it's time to start coding. I will use Jupyter Notebook. As you can see, I have written down the steps which we are going to go through. And remember, you should always write comments, because if you're going to come back to your code sometime later, you will be needing them. Trust me on this. So the very first step is requests. We'll use the request library to grab the page. This may fail also if you have a Fireball, Blocking Python or Jupyter. Sometimes you need to run this command twice if it fails the first time. Let's import the library. The request library that we downloaded goes and gets the response. To get a response from the web page, we use request.get method. So let's make a request here. We will store it into result. Now let's copy the address of the website and store it into URL. Okay, I need to pass it as a string here. Our request is successful because the command ran successfully. And now it's stored into a giant Python string, that is result. We will now be able to fetch the complete web page source code when we run result.txt. Let's see. This is the complete source code of the web page. As you can see, this code is not structured. Now we will need Beautiful Soup to do its job. Beautiful Soup library already has a lot of built-in tools and methods to grab the information from a string of this nature, basically an HTML file. It is a Python library for pulling data out of HTML or XML files. Let's import the library. Using Beautiful Soup, we can create a soup object that contains all the ingredients of the web page. You get the idea, right? Now let's create the soup object. We are going to pass two things here: result.text string and XML in a form of a string. XML goes through this HTML document and will figure out what is a CSS class, what is a CSS ID, and what are the different HTML elements and tags, etc. I'll zoom in a bit for you. Now we have the structured code. It's time to extract the data. Let's again navigate to the website. Now we need to find the div element. For that, we need to inspect the web page. For inspection, you need to hover over the area which you want to inspect and press right click. You will find an option inspect here. Main counter number is the class we are looking for because it perfectly serves our purpose here. The beautiful soup object has been created in a Python script and the HTML data of the website has been scraped off the page. Next, we need to get the data we are interested in out of the HTML code. So now we will make use of the class main counter number. I will use find all method on soup to extract our class data. You see, there was a lot of HTML code that we did not want. Our desired data entry was wrapped in HTML div element and inside class main counter number. So we use this knowledge to scrape our data. Now it's time to store the data. We need to save the scraped data in some form that can be used effectively. For this project, I am going to save all the data in a Python list. So let's create one. Now, if we look closely at our code, we can see that the numbers we are interested in are inside the span tag, right? So now let's find the span tag and get data from it. For this, I'll run a loop over cases. And once we find the span tag, we will update its data into our list. Why I use span.string here? Because we need the numbers. We do not want us to be dealing with the tags. So we use span string to get the numbers. I'll show you. See, span returns the data with the tags, but what we are actually interested in is just the data. We do not want us to be dealing with the tags. So we used span.string here. I hope it's clear to you. So now let's check what our list holds. Okay, I ran this command twice. So I need to recreate the list. And here we go. Now that we have the numbers, we are ready to export the data into an Excel file. To fulfill this purpose, I am going to make use of pandas. We need to import the pandas package first. The community agreed alias for pandas as PD. So loading pandas as PD is assumed a standard practice. We will do the same here. If you wish to know more about pandas, I have attached the link in my blog. You can have a look. Now I am going to create a data frame. Data frame is a two-dimensional labeled data structure, potentially heterogeneous tabular data structure with labeled axes, rows and columns. I am going to name it as DF. pd.dataframe command is used to create a data frame and give it a name and map it to the data. Here I am mapping it to data list that we created earlier. Next, I am going to provide names for the columns by using df.index. We need 3 columns here. As you can see, we have 3 elements in our list. First one is total number of cases, next is total number of deaths and total number of recovered cases. Now let's see what our data looks like. Exactly as we were expecting. Our final step is to export the data into MS Excel. I am going to use 2CSV for the same. My Excel file will be created in this folder because this is the path which I am using for my Jupyter notebook. CSV. I will provide the file name here and remember to provide the extension as .csv. Now we should find a file name as corona data in the same folder. Here it is. As you can see, our data has been successfully exported to an Excel file. I hope you learned something from this tutorial. You can find the complete code at my GitHub repository. The link is available in the description box below. Also, don't forget to check out my blog for a step-by-step guide. The link is available in the description box below. If you wish to connect with me on other social platforms, the link is available in the description box below. If you have any queries or suggestions, feel free to ask. If you liked the video, hit the like button and subscribe my channel. Press the bell icon so you never miss an update. I will be back with more such videos. Until then, stay tuned. Thank you for watching.